Brent Green.
I saw him coming down the concourse at me, and he moved closer and closer, and I expected him to get larger. But he walked up to me, and he was a shorter man. I was a little surprised. When we see our icons suddenly in front of us, we expect them to be bigger than life. In the limousine from the Denver airport to Colorado Springs, we had a delightful conversation. He was engaged. He wanted to know about us. My friend Lou, who's the vice president and general manager of the radio station, the driver, me, where did I go to school, how long I lived in Colorado. How did I come up with the idea to do this big program that I'd come up with? Well, we were on our way to Colorado Springs, and he was the headliner. I had developed a marketing campaign for the Colorado Springs Fine Arts Center, a very fine art museum. And I was tasked to increase membership and donations. So where do you get your inspiration from? In this particular case, I got my inspiration from a very familiar album to many of us in the room. Probably the most critically successful rock album of the 20th century. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So I turned that into Sergeant Palmer's Fine Arts Club Band. Just in case you want to know, William Jackson Palmer was the founder of Colorado Springs. And instead of the Beatles, we had Colorado Springs celebrities. News anchors, CEOs of companies, heads of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, heads of the chamber. All of the people in this photo were notable in the community. And the big idea was that if you would donate money or become a member of the Fine Arts Center, you would be invited to a gala party, which would include searchlights and radio remotes and television interviews and more celebrities such as Flash Cadillac and, of course, the headliner who I was entertaining. So I took him to the Broadmoor where he could freshen up for a private VIP party that night. And he took me aside in the lobby and he said, "Brent, I gotta admit to you, I have a lot of reservations about being here in the first place. My agent tried to talk me out of it. He said, do not come to Colorado because Colorado is the hate state." And he had some darn good reasons for feeling that way. You see, 26 years ago this month, in November of 1992, a majority of Colorado citizens approved a new amendment to the Colorado Constitution. And the substance of Amendment 2 was to make it impossible for any government in the state to create a law that would treat people who are gay and lesbian as a separate class. The net effect of that was to discriminate against gay and lesbian people in the state of Colorado. Well, that set Hollywood on fire and most of the rest of the country. Many, many celebrities immediately canceled their appearances here in the state of Colorado, including all these people here: James Taylor, Whoopi Goldberg, Madonna, Liza Minnelli, Barbara Streisand. They said, we're not coming to the hate state. Tourism fell off the cliff. It was all over as far as that. For the next couple of 3 years, it was dismal. My guest had other good reasons. At the height of his career, he was the most popular rock icon in the history of this country, with more fans than the Beatles and Elvis Presley. He filled stadiums like Mile High, 70, 80,000 screaming fans. He was on a Nielsen Top 10 rated musical comedy as the headliner. And he had many successful songs, but one of them reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. I Think I Love You. David Cassidy stood apart from his peers in the entertainment industry and took a risk and came to Colorado. And he appeared in that gala, and he was charming. He was engaged. He was all that you could hope a celebrity would be, and immensely entertaining. 2 or 3 years later, Amendment 2 starts going up the courts. Colorado Supreme Court said it is illegal. It is discrimination. But it went on to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court heard the case and decided that it violated the 14th Amendment, which offers all of us equal protection under the law. And so it was struck down. Now, for the minority was Antonin Scalia, who just died last year. He wrote the minority opinion, in effect, that traditional sexual mores should be protected by law. So whatever the majority thinks is okay. And then Justice Kennedy, who just retired this summer, wrote the majority opinion. And it was a 6-3 ruling. 6 justices voted in favor. Now, imagine with me that sitting on the court would be the replacements. Neil Gorsuch replacing Scalia, and Brett Kavanaugh replacing Kennedy. What would have happened if the vote happened with those two sitting on the court? Would it have been a 4-5 ruling? Would we still have Amendment 2? I remember David Cassidy as somebody who was brave, who was committed to stepping outside of the norms of his people, his peer groups, and saying, I'm coming to Colorado. This is not a hate state. He's also sometimes remembered for the fact that through the last part of his life, he had trouble with alcohol, he had driving accidents, he had arrests, he had broken marriages, he had lots of trouble. But I remember him as a very gentle soul who wants nothing more than anybody in this room wants, which is to love and be loved. Isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic that in November 2018, we select as governor the first fully open gay man to be governor of our state, the first in the United States? Isn't it ironic?